Hi, my name's Lofty, and I bounty hunt criminal players in Star Citizen. So to kick things off this week, I was on the moon of Selene in the Crusader system, and my target was raiding a security post on the surface. Trespassing seems to have been removed from most locations recently, so you can actually just approach and land outside most facilities. There were plenty of ships parked outside, so anything could be waiting for me inside. I made my way down into the bunker, using my suppressed S-38 pistol. The S-38 is a beast of a pistol, and it can often take targets down in just a few well-placed shots. Anyway, I was in, and I moved slowly, and found a place to hide out of immediate line of sight. I waited for the target to move past me before going for a CQC takedown, but the server seemed to be struggling, and I just judo chopped the guy in the back of the head instead. Thinking quickly, I pulled the pistol back out and finished the job before either the target or the server did the same thing to me. You've got to think quickly in these situations. Heading to the surface, the 150k was nice, I thought, but it could be a whole lot more. So it was just another normal day in Stanton. My next target was doing the usual criminal play, trying to wipe their record at Security Post Korea. As I said, most locations aren't immediately hostile anymore, so you can actually get into places like SBK without the defences lighting you up, but if you go inside then you are trespassing. I parked the Razor away from the station so as not to spook the target, and made my way in on foot. They were already at the terminal, so I wasted no time in tasing them into oblivion. They'd taken down a lot of people, and it really makes you wonder what training these Crusader security guards get, because they seem completely incapable of defending themselves. It's like their training manual's just a single page that says, when in doubt, politely ask the bad guy to stop. Anyway, back out in the belt, and I actually beat this Zeus in a fight, because the Razor is so small and tiny that I just outmaneuvered it completely. Nothing to do with pilot skill, nothing to do with me being good, it was just staying behind them and shooting. It's the classic annoyance as a weapon strategy. Same went for this freelancer, but admittedly, pretty much anyone could have got the job done here. I probably could have taken that ship down with a well-aimed rock. So, I've come to the conclusion that with elevator bounties, and other times that this has happened, that it's all just dependent on server performance. If the server's dying or not doing very well, then these kind of contracts just don't seem to complete. It's like the game saying, I'd love to pay you, but my brain is currently on fire. There's lots of other fuckery going on too in terms of bugs, but this seems to be the main reason why bounty hunting contracts mess up and don't complete, in my opinion, when you're in Grim Hex. Anyway, I was back out in the Razor again, and this poor Aurora felt the sting of size 2 attritions. Honestly, I felt quite bad for this guy, but then I remembered that I just got paid, and I got over it. And, as any good Stanton citizen knows, a few thousand AUEC can heal all sense of guilt. Back at the station, and I had a fellow hunter join me for this next target. But some people might be unaware of the etiquette and the rules surrounding elevator bounties. There's a specific art to it. And if you press buttons on the elevator, it just repositions the target to a different instance hangar. And this novice has got some things to learn. You fucked it up, mate. You fucked it up. You press the button, that's it, it's done now. Fucked it up. It's like a first timer at Jumptown who thinks they can just walk up and grab a box of drugs without getting shot. I was back on my own again, and I thought I would try a little test. I decided that I would run into this target's hangar without trying to take him down. I wanted to see what he'd do. so I just ran and hid. Would he check the corners? Would he be wary of anything? No. He just wanders over to his ship without a care in the world. More money for me, I guess. It's a miracle these guys can even remember where they park their ships. He had a nice Naboo starfighter too. It was a shame he couldn't sense the disturbance in the Force though. One last elevator bounty, and it really does seem to me that this whole on-foot situation is completely dependent on the server, because this just keeps happening. Where I take the target down and then they get sent to prison, but the contract doesn't complete. It's the ultimate Star Citizen experience. Take down a criminal only to be foiled by the universe itself. But little did I know I was about to be compensated for all of the wasted time in just one target. I was out in the belt again, and it seemed that someone was doing Vaughn missions. It was a C2 and a Connie parked close together, so I assumed that someone had taken out the ship and was unloading it. Getting closer, I parked the Razor in the Connie's blind spot, hopefully not alerting whoever was there. Moving over to the other ship, the server was obviously having trouble as the marker for the target was just all over the place. So I waited to see if it would sort itself out. It was a full-on PTSD-inducing marker dance. I had no idea what the cargo was, but there was a fair few crates in the Connie already. Things had returned to normal, and the target had drifted his way over to the C2. Now was my time to strike. After taking him down, I thought it would obviously be a waste to just leave all this stuff here, so I broke into the Connie. There was still cargo out in space, but I didn't have a max lift, so I just had to kind of make do with what I already had. I had to break into the airlock as I couldn't use the cargo door. Nothing a bit of handy knife work and electricity couldn't fix, and I was in. Now, I just needed to get the ship back to Grim. Landing smoothly, I unloaded the crates and sent them down the elevator. Heading to the terminals, I managed to bag just over 750k from that target, which, including the bounty, is just over 900k in total, almost 1 million credits. Not bad for an afternoon's work. My in-game wallet was feeling heavy, and my conscience was feeling light. Perfect combination. But a bounty hunter's work is never done, and I had one last job to do. It was inside the ASD Onyx facility, a place I was all too familiar with. I landed the ship and made my way inside. This job needed me to be silent, so I had the trusty S-38 ready again. Getting inside, I knew the target was in the research wing, so I made my way down. Checking the corners, I made my way to the right floor. I knew that they were heading for the anomaly research room. As I caught sight of them, I saw another player. I had to take them out too, otherwise they would do the same to me before I could get my mark. And obviously, with the target no doubt aware of my presence, I had to quickly finish the job. Of course, I'd now killed an innocent player, and I was a wanted criminal. I made sure they were finished and made my way back to the atrium. My strategy in this situation has been to lure player bounty hunters into the facility and make them get to the ground floor atrium, where they have to fight through the horde of NPCs before they can get to me, which at that point I use the elevator like a choke point. I can see on the map when they use it, so I was ready with some grenades. And wouldn't you know it, it's the same guy from before that I knifed, back to hunt me for revenge. After taking him down, I thought I'd revive him, just to see if he still came after me. I ran away and made my way into engineering. I was out of ammo and the server was dying, and I was finally taken out by just some innocent bystander who happened to electrocute me with his parallax rifle. It's like one of the NPCs must have shouted, "Stop that man," and he had some kind of civic duty to take me down. Anyway, that was my life of crime over, and it was off to prison with me. But you can never keep a good man down, and I was out of prison faster than you can say "Welcome to Horizon, City in the Clouds." Anyway, that's all for this week. If you want to find out how I escaped prison, check out this video. And if you enjoyed this content and want to support the channel, please consider subscribing and or buying me a coffee on Ko-fi. Links in the description. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.